Hey everybody, So Wookie here. In this video, we're going to take a look at the new Pubg dev update from the console team and all the different things that they're currently working on to improve the gameplay for us guys that play on the Pubg console. If you enjoy this video, consider liking and subscribing to see more. So the first off is that they're developing the performance mode. So a couple of Pubg updates ago, they mentioned that this was a priority for them to try and unlock that capped FPS for the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. And they've been working on this and trying to do it in various different ways. So currently, if you're playing the frame rate priority, you're playing 1440p resolution, not 4K, which improves your frame rate and in those high octane moments stops frame drops from happening as much. So what they're basically working on is reducing that to 1080p, which is your full HD, and then unlocking the cap. And then they mentioned through the testing that they've had internally at the minute, that's getting frame rates as high as the 50s, which is pretty good. And they're also experimenting with turning off VC on and off, but they don't want to get the screen tearing, which can cause when that is off. So there's a lot more testing to be done yet, and they're hoping that this is going to be ready for October 2020. Now, what's curious to me about this is they seem to have set a date that is just before the next gen consoles. So PUBG is going to be playing on the next gen consoles, and they're going to be 60 frames per second or above, depending on how well optimized it is. So it seems like they're trying to get the lower consoles for those people who don't upgrade quite as soon, at least to a similar kind of frame rate, so they're not so far out of whack in terms of a competitive standpoint, because having a higher FPS and having more relevant information on your screen at time does help with that. So I'm eager to see this come into action, because you know, if you've got that more powerful console, you do want to take the most out of it, which is good. The next thing, they're aware of some situations where if the game crashes, it doesn't very much anymore for me anyway, but occasionally it does. You can sometimes lose RP if you can't get back into the game. So they're investigating that currently and trying to come up with a fix. And they just say, if this happens to you, send them a bug report so that they can investigate that particular instance. And then in the future, hopefully, if you do get crashed from the game, it doesn't punish you from it. The next thing, which is fantastic news, in Update 3, they implemented a packet encryption technique to basically stop people using radar hacks, and it has been a success, and it has fully eradicated that on console, which is a great thing. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced anything where you think was suspicious still, where perhaps they could have been using that, or if you've seen a kill cam since update 7.3 where they shouldn't have been able to find you and they just lock onto you. Let me know what you think. I personally haven't been killed in that way for a while now, so for me it does seem that this is correct. They've also go into saying that obviously this doesn't mean that all cheating is gone on console, unfortunately, but if I think it was one of the biggest issues, especially in ranked play, because it can ruin a competitive play if one team knows where everybody is. It's stupid. But they're also developing a hardware ban solution as well, as ramping up the banning policies. So hopefully they can get that out as quick as possible, but also make sure it's fair and actually works, because that'll be banning the consoles. And then if people are caught cheating, you know, maybe if radar, they find a way around the encryption and the radars come back. If they get caught and it bans the console, don't think there's that many people out there who are going to buy a new console just to keep cheating on PUBG, which is, you know, a big deterrent for them. And again, they just go over the fact that cheating is more important to them their rank modes out, because they want a competitive environment for that. And then the final thing that they go into of what they're updating, you know, over the next couple of months is custom matches. So in the last update, well, starting with Season 8, they added some more presets there. In the next August one, they're going to close the gap even further with different modes. And then finally, towards the end of the year, they're going to get the full observer features, which is really cool. For example, having the full observer features is going to be so much better for you know, little tournaments that are hosted, you know, by Facebook groups and stuff, because they'll be able to have a stream and stuff, and it's just much more watchable from from an onlooker's point of view, which is good. So all positive changes. I think the highlight for me from this is going to be the performance mode. Getting those frame rates up in the high 50s is going to be great, as well as the anti-cheat measure. Hope you enjoyed the video and found the information useful. If you did, consider liking and subscribing to see more. Wookie out.